So earlier this morning, I came across an article on SportsIllustrated.com, and the title is "Love Not a Top 10 Quarterback?" with a question mark. It says here, in a fresh set of quarterback rankings produced by NFL draft guru Matt Miller, the Packers' Jordan Love was behind the likes of the Eagles' Jalen Hurts, and yes, the Jets' Aaron Rodgers. So this is written by Jacob Westendorf, and he's reacting to someone else who's saying that Love, I guess, is not a top 10 quarterback, which I will get my thoughts on. It says here, recently Matt Miller's Substack page known as the Draft Scout ranked each starting quarterback, including Jordan Love. His premise was to put each quarterback into tiers, but also have them ranked in order based on those tiers. Mahomes is first. Beyond him was a tier Miller called Elite, which included Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. The third tier was playoff quarterbacks. A glaring omission from that list, Love. Interesting. Love was listed in a tier just below what Miller referenced to as playoff quarterbacks. That list included the Chargers, Justin Herbert, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, and a former Packers quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. So all three of those guys ranked ahead of Jordan Love. The fourth tier on Miller's list was titled Young Guns. Love was listed as the first quarterback in this tier and 11th overall, ahead of the Jaguars' Trevor Lawrence, the 49ers' Brock Purdy, the Dolphins' Tua Tagovailoa, and the Cardinals' Kyler Murray. So I agree with those rankings right there, with Love ahead of those other guys, definitely. Of Love, Miller wrote this: if Love plays like he did down the stretch last year, he'll be climbing this list in a hurry. His first season as a starter in Green Bay was magical, with Love outplaying Rodgers' 2022 level. So I find it interesting that in his playoff tier, he has Justin Herbert, who has not won a playoff game, and yet Jordan Love is left off the playoff tier quarterback who has won a playoff game. I do think Justin Herbert's a very talented quarterback. I think he's a bright future ahead of him with Harbaugh going into there to the Los Angeles Chargers. And of course, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, great quarterbacks. But I do think that right now, Jordan Love is a top 10 guy. I would put him ahead of Justin Herbert, no doubt. You could argue with Lamar Jackson. I'd personally still probably take Love. I think he's just going to have a more successful career than Lamar Jackson. And right now, I'd probably take Love over Rodgers with where Rodgers is in his career. And if you want to look at last year's stats from Jordan Love, you could, of course, take his weeks 10 through 18. He was one of the best in the NFL. And I think some people have said, what if Love doesn't have the same kind of year he had last season? What if the way he played earlier in 2023, what if that happens coming into next season? But here's the thing. Even in the midst of a slow start for the Packers offense, which I think is very understandable considering just how young this team is, if we still take a look at his overall stats, he still was ranking up there in lots of categories. Overall in 2023, this is with quarterbacks who had at least 100 pass attempts. Second in touchdown passes. 31 passing touchdowns. 4,158 passing yards, 7th. And a 96.1 passer rating, 11th. So even if you think Jordan Love would average out from how he started in the year to how he ended, I still think he's up there when it comes to being a top tier quarterback. And personally, I think that the Jordan Love we're going to see going forward is going to be the Jordan Love we saw from weeks 10 through 18, which I think easily puts him in the top 10. And I think, in my opinion, would put him even into the top 3, top 5. So here's his stats from weeks 10 through 18. 18 passing touchdowns, which was third in the NFL. Only had 3 interceptions during that stretch. A 66.2% completion percentage, 8th, which was better. He improved it a lot from early in the year. 2,122 passing yards, 3rd, and a 104.6 passer rating, which was 4th. And I think because of the chemistry he built with the receivers, the fact that all these young rookies started to finally get a hang of things, get a better grasp on the playbook, I think we really started to see Love's true potential, and that continued into the playoffs. And so personally, that's how I would rank Love based on what we saw in the second half of the season, because I think that's what we're going to see going forward. And I think this offense is going to be even better than last year. But even if you took his whole season, I still think he's a top 10 quarterback, and I would not put a guy like Justin Herbert ahead of Jordan Love. That's just my take on the situation. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you want more Packers content, you can follow me on Twitter, LukeBeller3. I'll leave it linked at the top of the description. And if you want to stay up to date with all Packers news, make sure you have the notifications on for this YouTube channel, where I put out two videos typically per weekday here on this channel. But that is it for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.